Upon finalising Sam's system design, it was time for me to hand the project over to one of our project managers, Sarah. Our project managers are highly trained and very experienced. They specialise in taking a project from the point of sale to getting the installation arranged, completed and commissioned. We take care of absolutely everything and we don't subcontract the project management. So there's a lot of back-end work to getting a high-quality solar and battery system fitted efficiently and safely. I'm going to talk about some of those steps now in the context of Sam's installation. The first thing that we always do is to submit the DNO application, which in Sam's case was a G99 application for a solar and battery storage system above 3.68 kilowatts per phase to Scottish and Southern electricity networks. After agreeing on a final system design, it's important to get this sent off immediately to your local DNO in order to not delay the installation. DNO applications can take up to 11 weeks to be completed, depending on demand. We were very fortunate that Sam's came back in only a couple of weeks. The amount of generation and export that you're permitted by the DNO is essential to the economics and financial return of the project. It's so important that we actually have someone in the office whose job is to deal with the DNOs and negotiate the maximum amount of generation and export for our clients. While waiting for the DNO application to come back, Sarah started ticking off the rest of the project management tasks that needed to be done prior to installation. An important part of preparing for the installation, which we do for every job that we work on, is to send our head of installations, Justin Parsons, round to the client's house to do a full technical and structural survey. Please watch the separate video to find out more about what happens on the technical survey and what Justin looks at. Part of the technical survey involves Justin taking measurements for the structural report. In Sam's case, Sarah then inputted these measurements into the software that comes with the K2 mounting system that we use for pitch roof installations. This software determines the bracket layout that the roofers later follow when installing the mounting system. This is very important and it has to be done properly because it's holding the solar system to the roof. When designing a solar panel mounting system, our project managers need to look at the weight that the system will add to the roof in the worst case scenario, which is usually when there's snow on top of the panels. They also need to look at what happens when there's a strong wind blowing, because the solar panels can start to act like a big sail. If the bracket layout isn't perfect, or the brackets aren't fitted to the roof properly, then the panels could potentially fly off the roof in a strong wind. The modelling determined that Sam's system needed 50 brackets, arranged in the layout that you can see on screen now, to fix it securely to the roof and spread the weight of the system out. The software also runs all of the structural loading calculations that our third-party structural engineering company needs in order to certify that the roof can take the weight of the system without requiring any strengthening. A lot of solar installers don't do structural surveys, or they advise the customer to get their own one done. However, we just don't like taking that risk with your roof. It's also the project manager's job to prepare the method statement and job sheet for the project, as well as to prepare the official health and safety risk assessments prior to installation. We take health and safety extremely seriously at Spirit Energy, and the risk assessments and method statements are site-specific to every job. Justin also does a risk assessment on the technical survey and relays all of the information to the project managers to make sure that our installers are safe on the day of the install. An example of something that is relevant for some projects and not others would be checking to see if there are any overhead power lines that come near to the property. If there are any overhead power lines, then they'll need to be sheathed prior to the installation. We adhere to all the CDM regulations, which includes us creating a construction phase plan for every job that we're the main contractor for. The project manager also has to prepare a bill of materials so that our purchasing department can buy the correct kit in time for the planned installation date. In Sam's case, as it was one of the first Powerwall 3 installations in the country, it was flown over from America to our warehouse in Reading. The project managers also have to arrange for scaffolding to be put up and taken down. Sam's scaffolding went up very quickly and efficiently. For the majority of our installations, we use a trusted scaffold company that we've worked with for over 10 years. Sam commented on how impressed he was with the scaffolders and how undisruptive they were. Under MCS, Our project managers also sign up all of our clients to the HIP scheme, so that their deposits are insured if anything happens to the company prior to the installation. Following permission from the DNO and the completion of the technical and structural survey and various other project management tasks, it was time to get the system installed. You can find the videos on SAM's installation further along in this series.